Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching ReZero episode 14. So, last episode, we continued where we left off from episode 12, where they were introducing, was it Felt? What's her name? uh, here we go. Felt, right? Yeah, I was right. Okay. Where they were introducing Felt as the fifth candidate to become ruler. A few people had some. Well, they didn't like it because Felt is basically, I think they even said street rat, kind of like Aladdin, but yeah, they were calling her a street rat, and she's not fit to be a candidate. But I mean, she was chosen, so she's up for it, and she was trying to, she basically told them she didn't want to do it. Now, they were basically, that was fine with them. If she didn't want to do it, they weren't going to make her. And then they started going on about other things, and Amelia got brought up. She was arguing with the people up front about something, and they brought up her appearance, how she looks like the witch, and they were calling her some names, and Subaru wasn't going for that, so he spoke up, talking about how he was going to ensure that she became the next ruler, calling himself her knight, which the actual knights did not appreciate. One specifically actually voiced his opinions about it, and did not go well for Subaru. Then he got kicked out by, well, everybody, including Amelia. So he's sitting out in the hall. At this point, what's his name? Rom? I think it's Rom. The old man. Yeah, Rom. He came to try to rescue Felt, but ended up getting captured himself, and they were going to kill him. And she's telling him to let him go, and they're like, we don't have to listen to you because you're not a candidate. And she's like, alright, fine. If I have to be a candidate in order to save him, then I'll be a candidate. I'll do it. And then she told him to let him go, and then they listened. And then she gets up at the front and starts talking about how she hates the nobility and she hates the city and this and that. Well, basically the government, and how everything is run, and how she's going to turn it all on its head and change everything. Did not make a lot of friends that day. But she's a candidate, so yeah. While all that's going on, Subaru, Felix, and I think Reinhardt are out in the lobby. They're still talking with the girls about the, candidacy and all that. And that one knight that he was arguing with inside came up to him and challenged him to a fight, which Subaru accepted. And they were using wooden swords, but he was still getting his butt kicked. This guy is an actual knight, has actual abilities, and really powerful. Subaru is kind of strong. I mean, he can lift up one of the girls with just an arm, but he is nothing compared to an actual knight. But he wanted to beat him up because of everything he was saying. And then one of the knights actually ran to the room where they were all at, the girls, and started telling them that that one knight and Subaru were having a fight, and a couple of them were like, "Why does it matter? I mean, they're having a fight. Let them finish it." And the guy's like, well, I was thinking the same thing, but I mean, the fight is so one-sided that I figured I should come and get somebody to help and like stop it, because Subaru's not doing well. It was a completely one-sided fight. He did not get one hit in. Emilia runs out there to try to stop him, but it did not do any good, and he ended up getting pretty injured. Then they show him in a bed with a couple bandages around him, and Emilia's there. And she is not too happy. He's basically trying to tell her that he's trying to do everything for her. He's trying to ensure that she wins. He's trying to help her as much as he can, because she helped him in the first episode, where she saved him from those 3 thugs, and then they went trying to look for the emblem, the insignia. But she doesn't know anything about that, because that was the first life that he had in that world, and that's, well, he died. So everything was reversed. He can't even tell her, because then the witch or whatever curse he has placed on him, I'm thinking it's a curse, or maybe it's just whatever spell the witch cast to bring him there. It's like keeping him from telling anything about what's going on. So he got kind of close to saying something, and it hurt him like it normally does. And she's rightfully angry at him, because she made him promise that he would stay at the inn, or wherever it was they were staying, and wait for her to return. Which he broke. He broke that promise, as we know. And she says she wants to believe him for everything he's trying to tell her, even though he hasn't really said a whole lot, because he really can't. But she wants to believe him, but he really hasn't given her any reason to believe him. And then he said something incredibly stupid, going on about everything that he's done for her and how she should owe him a lot. But yeah, that didn't go over well. It basically, he's probably really angry about what's going on, but still, you don't say that. And she basically gets up and tells them, all right, well, you're going to stay here because you're going to get healed by Felix, and then after that, we're done. And then she leaves. I don't blame her for being angry. She told him not to be there. I know he wants to help, but all he did this time was basically cause a lot of trouble for her, and did not do anything really productive or useful. Despite his intentions, they just weren't good enough. And yeah, I mean, he really hasn't given her a whole lot of reason to trust him. Sure, everything that... Basically, what he was telling her was that everything up until that point has worked out. If you would have just kept it at that, you know, go on about everything that's happened and talk about how it's worked out when I'm around, this will work out too. That's it. Instead, he starts going on about how she should owe him a large debt. But, yeah. So I don't blame her for being angry. But I don't know what's going to happen now, what he's going to do to try to gain her trust again. Just to see what's going to happen. Alright, so the video is going to be located over here. And the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2,